Welcome to online study on criminal procedure code. Today we'll discuss the provisions for maintenance to wives, children and parents as provided in chapter 9 of the code. Why such a provision is there? You know that criminal procedure code is a procedure, prescribes the procedure for trial, for inquiry, investigation, trial of criminal cases. But here, this chapter IX gives some power to the magistrate first class, to provide maintenance. Maintenance, sometimes in all personal laws, in Hindu law, in Mohammedan law, such a provision is there for getting maintenance. Why maintenance is to be given to the wife, children, and aged parents? Always law has a purpose. You know, ours is a welfare state. In a welfare state, the state has a duty to see that a person should not starve because of poverty. A family should not, if a person holds family, he, as a head of the family, a male member, has a duty to maintain the wife, children, and his parents, not aged parents, only parents, only unable to maintain. So if the wife or children and the parents are able to maintain, then the question of maintenance doesn't arise. Sometimes you may think why, if a husband is unable to maintain and the wife is earning because of change of this economic condition of the woman, why such a provision is not there? Suppose a husband is entitled for getting maintenance in a matrimonial dispute, when under the provisions of, if a Hindu, under the Hindu Marriage Act, in case of matrimonial dispute when the marriage dissolved, etc., unable to maintain, in such case, the wife may be asked to give maintenance to the husband, either party. So their husband or wife is not there, vice versa. But here in section 125 of the Criminal Procedure Code, the husband is liable to maintain the wife. If he neglects or refuses, two words are there: neglects or refuses. Neglect means he is willing to give, but he is neglecting. But here he is refusing. Two words are there: neglecting and refusing. Refusing, somebody is that actively saying, no, I will not give maintenance. Or if the wife is demanding and thereby the husband is not giving maintenance, that is a refusal. Neglect, even is neglecting. He has intention to give maintenance, but he is not giving. He is not maintaining. We may say that is a neglecting to maintain. Because in a welfare state, the state has a responsibility to see that nobody should live in destitute. Nobody should live in poverty. So poverty may be there, but nobody should starve. Nobody should be deprived of this some minimum necessities of life, that maintenance. Either this, what is maintenance has been defined here in the Act. The word maintenance that has been also mentioned. What is maintenance? So maintenance is what is, that is not only this, only providing for food, clothing, etc. In some cases, medical expenses, those are to be treated as maintenance. So here, that section 125 sometimes create a confusion. I have asked some students whether a daughter, unmarried daughter, is entitled to get maintenance. An unmarried daughter of 19 years old is entitled to get maintenance from the father. under section 125 of the CRPC. Sometimes question, if some person they do not understand the fundamentals, that under section 125 only the minor children are entitled to get maintenance. Once a child is major, and if he or she is not suffering from any mental or this physical disability, and because of such disability unable to maintain, then what? Then he or she is not entitled to get maintenance. So here you see order for maintenance of wives, children, and parents. Section 125 says order. Who will pass? If first requirement is that if any person having sufficient means, here person doesn't mean only male person. Even sometimes a female person, if she neglects or refuses to maintain her these parents, unable to maintain, then the parents can claim maintenance from that female, that daughter. So here, if any person here doesn't mean only a male person or a son, even a daughter, son or daughter, having sufficient means, neglects or refuses to maintain. His wife when says that is a male person, unable to maintain herself. First, if a person having first requirement, a person having sufficient means, neglects or refuses to maintain his wife, unable to maintain herself. If the wife is able to maintain herself, then section 125 will not be attracted. Will not. She cannot claim maintenance on section 125 of the CRPC. Second, his legitimate or illegitimate minor child, whether married or not, unable to maintain itself. So far as minor child is concerned, unable to maintain. If the minor child is able to maintain, then he or she is not liable. He is legitimate or illegitimate. Even a legitimate child or illegitimate child, whether married or not, that is legitimate or minor child. If a minor child is married, whether married or not, unable to maintain. But one condition is that if a minor daughter is there, but if the minor daughter is married and her husband is able to maintain, in such case, this maintenance will not come. This question of maintenance will not arise because the husband will maintain. What he says? His legitimate or illegitimate minor child, whether married or not, unable to maintain itself, or his legitimate or illegitimate child, not being a married daughter, your child minority is not there. Legitimate or illegitimate minor child, whether married or not, unable to maintain herself. Third is there, his legitimate or illegitimate child, not here minor is not there, not being a married daughter, who has attained majority, even after attaining majority, where such child is by reason of any physical or mental abnormality or injury unable to maintain itself. That means if a minor daughter or minor son, minor daughter, if a daughter has attained majority, if she is not suffering from any mental or physical disability, then and because of that, she is unable to maintain herself, then in such case, the father is liable to maintain. So here, this is because sometimes you may think that a minor daughter, a major daughter, so long she is not married, she is entitled to get maintenance from her father. No. The question is legitimate or illegitimate child. Whether when they attended majority and because of physical or mental disability, unable to, or mental abnormality or any injury because of any injury, suppose she has suffered, or suppose such a injury, because of that he or she is unable to earn, even major, unable to maintain itself, or his father or mother unable to maintain himself or herself, father or mother unable to maintain himself or herself. So a magistrate of the first class may, what, only on proof of such neglect or refusal, only requirement is that on proof of such refusal or neglect, order such person to make a monthly allowance for the maintenance of his wife or such child, father or mother, at such monthly rate. Previously it was there not exceeding 500 rupees, but in the year 2001, that is from 24/9/2001, because of that is this not exceeding 500 rupees in the whole, this provision was deleted. So at such monthly rate, as such magistrate thinks fit, and to pay the same to such person means what? Even to a guardian or to the any other person on behalf of the minor, to such person, as the magistrate may from time to time direct. May from time to time direct. Such person doesn't mean that particular person. Such taste to stem such person. Because somebody is suffering from paralysis, or the father or mother is suffering from paralysis, and the son or daughter is not taking care, another person is taking care. In such case, that maintenance amount may be paid to the person who is taking care. So what it says? What section 124 you should understand? If a person having first requirement has sufficient means. If he has no means, then the question of maintenance will not arise, because he is unable to maintain. He has no means. First requirement, if a person. Sufficient means, again sufficient. Simply means is not. Suppose a person has some means, but that means is not sufficient for his maintenance only. That is he is earning a very small amount. He has very small property. He has a very small amount of property. And that means sufficient means is not sufficient. Is not even insufficient for him also. So in such case, this will not arise. A person having sufficient means neglects or refuses. Two words are there. First, neglect is there, or either refusal. Even refusal there actively, denying, refuse to maintain his wife. First, wife unable to maintain here herself. Second is that legitimate or illegitimate child, minor child, whether married or not, unable to maintain itself. Then legitimate or illegitimate child, whether married, whether not being married, here not being married, who is because of his mental illness, physical disability, or any injury, unable to maintain itself. If a major child is married, and because of this not being a married daughter, so here in such case, if a major child that married and suffering from mental disability, etc., unable to, there the father's responsibility or the mother's responsibility will not arise to maintain her, or his father or mother unable to maintain himself or herself. Himself or herself. In the case law has been settled that even a daughter is liable to maintain her father or mother. What? As per section 125 CRPC. A magistrate of the first class, how? Upon proof of such neglect or refusal, order such person to make a monthly allowance for the maintenance of his wife, child, or father or mother at such monthly rate as such magistrate thinks fit. So the amount, how much amount is to be paid as maintenance, that is left to the decision of the magistrate first class. And to pay the same to such person as the magistrate from time to time direct. That means that once an order has been passed, that can be altered from time to time. The amount of maintenance may be to the same such person from time to time. If after change of situation, the situation change and amount is to be altered, or that can be from time to time, there may be alteration, provided that the magistrate may order the father of a minor female child refer to a clause B to make such allowance until she attain her majority if the magistrate is satisfied that the husband of such minor female child, if married, is not possessed of sufficient means. Then this provision is this minor married child, whether married or not, that is this become because nowadays marriage of a daughter during minority is not permitted. Child marriage restraint act. But here, but sometimes a child is married, so provided the magistrate when a minor girl is married and a child is a minor and she is married and her husband has no means as until is to maintain her. Husband of such minor female child, if married, is not possess sufficient. If the husband of that minor child, minor girl, doesn't possess sufficient means to maintain that minor child, then in such case, the magistrate may direct that a minor child, if married, may be maintained by the father. That means father, only father, not mother, only father of a minor child until she attains her majority. Provided further that the magistrate, this 50s, that is in the year 2001, 24/9 2001, again there was amendment. Previously, specific provision was not in the CRPC for giving interim maintenance. And this, that is expense of the proceeding. But here that was included by amendment. What provided further that the magistrate may, during the pendency of the proceeding, regarding monthly allowance for the maintenance under this section, order such person to make a monthly allowance. That means interim maintenance. During pendency of such proceeding, the magistrate may order payment of such monthly allowance for the interim maintenance. Allowance for the interim maintenance of the wife of such interim during pendency of the proceeding. Whatever maintenance is to be paid, that we call interim maintenance. During of such proceeding, the magistrate may order for payment of interim maintenance of such amount to the wife, child, or father or mother, and the expense of such proceeding. Here, expense of such proceeding, sometimes we say loosely it is litigation proceeding, litigation expense of such proceeding with the magistrate, which the magistrate considers reasonable, that interim maintenance and expense of such proceeding which the magistrate considers reasonable, and to pay the same to such person as the magistrate may from time to time direct. Provide also that an application for the monthly allowance for the interim maintenance and expense for proceeding under the second provision to shall, as far as practicable, as far as possible, be disposed of within 60 days from the date of the service of notice of the application to such person. So, once an application for interim maintenance is filed before the magistrate, that is to be decided, that is to be disposed of within 60 days from the date of the service of notice of the application to the other side, to such person. So now, explanation provides who is a minor. Minor means a person who, under the provisions of the Indian Majority Act 1875, is deemed not to have attained his majority. So minority is to be considered, taking into consider that under the as defined in Indian Majority Act. Wife, here, wife, again it has been clarified, explain, wife includes a woman who has been divorced by or has obtained a divorce. Divorced by or obtained a divorce. That means even the wife has obtained a divorce. Or if they are the instance of the husband, the wife has been divorced. That is, here two words are there, who has been divorced or has obtained a divorce. The wife has obtained a divorce from her husband and has not remarried. So long the wife, a divorced wife, is entitled to get maintenance from the husband, so long she is not remarried. then any such allowance for the maintenance or interim maintenance and expense of proceeding shall be payable from the date of the order. The interim maintenance, so here magistrate during the pendency of the proceeding, that is interim maintenance provision was not there previously, only from 24/9/2001 specific provision was made in the criminal procedure code. That is that the magistrate may during the pendency of the proceeding regarding monthly allowance for the maintenance under the subsection order such person to make a monthly allowance for the interim maintenance of his wife or such child, father or mother, and the expense of such proceeding which the magistrate considers reasonable and to pay the same to such person as the magistrate may from time to time direct. That provide that the application for interim maintenance or litigation expense of proceeding should be disposed of, must be disposed of within 60 days from the date of the service of notice to that person. Here minor means who is a minor. Minor is a person who is a minor as per the provisions of this Indian Majority Act 1875. That is a person who has not attained the 18 years of age. That wife, wife includes a wife who has been divorced or obtained divorce. Even if the wife, at the instance of the wife, a divorce has been obtained by her, if she is not remarried, then still also she is entitled to get maintenance. Then any such allowance for the maintenance or interim maintenance and expense of proceeding shall be payable from the date of the order, if so ordered, from the date of the application, or from the date of the order, or if so ordered, if there is a order from which date that is to be paid, from the even that is that retrospectively that may be paid from the date of the application for maintenance, either if that is from the date of the application, if order has been passed, that interim maintenance that will be paid, or interim maintenance and expense of proceeding as the case may be. If any person so ordered, person who has been ordered to pay either maintenance or interim maintenance, so without sufficient cause to comply with that order, any such magistrate for every breach of the order, issue a warrant. Once order is breached, the magistrate will issue a warrant for levying the amount due in the manner provided for levy of fine. Second, and after the execution of the warrant, if that person is brought, the magistrate may sentence that person for 1 month for the whole or any part of such month's allowance, or the interim maintenance and expense of proceeding remaining unpaid after the execution warrant, to imprisonment a term which may extend to 1 month or until payment if sooner made. Sometimes a confusion comes whether for entire 12 months failure to pay maintenance there will be one order. No, for every breach of order, for one order, 1 month, that is 1 month sentence for each order, provided that no warrant shall be issued for the recovery of an amount due under this section, unless such application is made before the court to levy such amount within a period of 1 year from which that is due. Provided further that if such person offers to maintain his wife, which is very important, suppose a person after the order offers to maintain his wife on condition of her living with him, it provided that, and she refuses to live with him, such magistrate may consider any ground of refusal stated by her and may make an order under this section, notwithstanding such offer, if he is satisfied there is just ground for so doing. So this provision is there when somebody offers, provided that if such person offers, if application has been filed, he offers to maintain his wife on condition that if she will live with him, then the such magistrate may consider any ground of refusal stated by the wife and may make an order under this section, notwithstanding such offer, if he is satisfied that there is just ground for the wife to live separately from the husband. If a husband had contracted marriage with another woman or keeps a mistress, it shall be considered to be just ground for his wife refusal to live with him. Explanation has been made it clear that if the husband had contracted for the second marriage or has kept a mistress with him, then that will be just ground for the wife to refuse to stay with your husband and to get maintenance. Now, no wife shall be entitled to receive an allowance for the maintenance or the interim maintenance and expense of proceeding, as the case may be, for her husband under this section, if she is living in adultery. Living in adultery has been interpreted. The stray case of adultery is not sufficient, it will not be a ground for refusal of the maintenance, but continuously living. If that woman is living in adultery, that is, or if without any sufficient reason she refuses to live with her husband, if without any reason she refuses to live with her husband, or if they are living separately by mutual consent. If by mutual consent they are living separately, even if such case the wife is entitled to get maintenance from the husband, living separately from the husband, or if the they are living separately with mutual consent. When mutual consent is there, and in such case the wife is not entitled to get maintenance from the husband. That is subsection 4 says, no wife shall be entitled to receive an allowance for the maintenance or interim maintenance and expense of the proceeding, as the case may be, from her husband under this section, if first she is living in adultery, or if without any sufficient reason she is living separately from her husband, or by mutual consent, both the husband and wife are living separately. On proof that any wife in whose favor an order has been made under this section, suppose an order for maintenance has been passed, on proof that the wife is living adultery after passing of the order, or that without sufficient reason she refuses to live with her husband, or that they are living separately by mutual consent, the magistrate shall cancel the order. Suppose previously an order has been passed by the magistrate, thereafter it was proved that the wife is living in adultery, or has no sufficient reason to stay separately, live separately from the husband, or she is living separately with mutual consent, mutual consent, both the consent, both husband and wife, they have consented for living separately, then the order will be cancelled. This is section 125. You go through the language of this section very minutely, read it again and again, and make yourself fundamental. Even still, you may be in doubt. Sometimes you never be superfluous. Always go through this section word by word, try to understand what is the purpose of legislation, and then you will be clear. Now, it is section 126. These are what procedure is to be followed, where such application is to be filed. It provides what procedure is to be followed, in which before which magistrate such an application will be filed. So section 126, proceedings under section 125 may be taken against any person in any district where he is. Suppose the husband is in the district of Cuttack. Such a proceeding may be filed before any magistrate in any district, any place, may be taken against any person in any district, in the district of Cuttack, anywhere it can be filed. Not where the person is living, or in any district. Proceeding under section 125 may be taken against any person in any district where he is living, or he is not living, where he is available, or where he or his wife resides. Resides and is are two different things. For the temporary period, if a person is available somewhere in that district, such an application may be filed. If he resides with intent to stay, if the husband is residing permanently, there it can be filed, or the wife is residing somewhere, there can be filed. Suppose the husband and the wife is residing in a village in the district of Dhenkanal. The husband is residing in Mumbai. So in such case, such a petition may be filed either in Mumbai or in Dhenkanal district, where that is under whose jurisdiction the wife is residing. Where he has resided with his wife, where he last resided with his wife. Suppose for the last time, where the husband has resided with his wife, such a petition may be filed in that before the court of such magistrate. Or as the case may be, with the mother of the legitimate child. Even for a legitimate child, where he had last resided with the mother of the legitimate child. Though section 126 appears very easy, but you should understand, provided a proceeding under section 125 may be taken against any person in any district where he is. Where he is means both wife can file, parents can file, child can file. Where he is, where now he is available, or where he or his wife resides. Suppose in case of wife, where the husband resides, or that is, or the where wife resides, or where he last resides. In case of the last resided with his wife, suppose wife can file where the husband has last resided with her, or as the case may be, with the mother of the illegitimate child. Similarly, the legitimate child where last resided with the mother of the illegitimate.
All evidence in such proceeding shall be taken in the presence of the person against whom an order for payment of maintenance is proposed to be made. Because natural justice demands that whatever evidence is to be taken against a person, such evidence must be taken in his presence. So that's why section 126(2) provides all evidence in a proceeding on section 125 shall be taken in presence of the person for payment of entrance is proposed to be made, or when his personal attendance is dispensed with. Suppose the personal attendance is dispensed with in the presence of his pleader, and shall be recorded in the manner prescribed for recording evidence in a summons case. Substance of evidence will be recorded. Provided that if the magistrate is satisfied, the person against whom an order for payment of maintenance is proposed to be made is willingly avoiding service, or willfully neglecting to attend court. Here, sometimes expert evidence is taken. So one, provided the magistrate is satisfied that a person is willingly avoiding service of summons or willfully neglecting to attend the court, the magistrate willfully avoiding, the magistrate may proceed to hear and determine the case ex parte. So two conditions: willingly neglecting, willfully avoiding service, or willfully neglecting to attend court. So in such case, such a proceeding may be taken ex parte, and any order so made may be set aside for good cause shown. If an ex parte order has been passed, that may be set aside for good cause shown on an application made within 3 months from the date thereof. From the date, within 3 months from the date of passing of the ex parte order, if an application is made, such application, such order may be set aside subject to such terms, including terms as to payment of cost. So good cause is on what ground? Good cause. Suppose because of some difficulty the person could not come, or he had no intention to neglect to attend the court. If good cause is shown, then such order may be set aside on application if filed within 3 months from the date of the order, or payment of cost, subject to payment of cost to the appropriate party as the magistrate may think just and proper. The court, in dealing with application under section 125, shall have power to make such order as to cost as may be just. While deciding a application, the court has also power to pass order for payment of cost, the power to make such order as to cost. Section 127 it authorizes the magistrate, once an order has been passed, that order of maintenance can be altered. When suppose in the meantime the wife became able to maintain herself, or the child attained majority, so a child is able to maintain. In such case, or the person who has been ordered to give maintenance, his income was reduced, he has no means. In such grounds, such order may be altered. What he says, on proof of a charge in the circumstances in the circumstance of any person receiving change, on proof of a change in the circumstance of any person, circumstances of a person change, either of the person getting maintenance or the person who is paying maintenance, receiving under section 125, a circumstance of any person receiving under section 125 monthly allowance for the maintenance or interim maintenance, or obtained under the same section to pay monthly allowance for the maintenance or interim maintenance to his wife, child, father or mother, as the case may be, the magistrate may change of circumstances. Circumstance, any person receiving under section 125 only receiving maintenance, then such order may be altered, as the case may be, by magistrate may make such alteration as he thinks fit in the allowance for the maintenance or the interim maintenance, as the case may be. When it appears to the magistrate that in consequence of any decision of a competent civil court, any order made under section 125 should be cancelled or varied. Cancel, suppose in the meantime somebody was declared as not the wife of somebody, or that is to be varied. Civil court has passed order of getting some maintenance, that is to be, he shall cancel the order, as the case may be, vary the same accordingly. Where any order has been made under section 125 in favor of a woman who has been divorced by or has obtained a divorce from her husband, the magistrate shall, if he is satisfied that the woman has after the date of such divorce remarried, if the magistrate is satisfied that after such order that the woman who is getting divorced woman remarried, cancel such order as from the date of her remarriage. The woman has been divorced. If the woman has been divorced to her husband, and that she has received, whether before or after the date of the said order, the whole of the sum which under any customary or personal law applicable to the parties was payable on such divorce, cancels order. Similarly, in some customary divorce, if the wife has received any amount from the husband, if the wife, the woman has been divorced by her husband, and that she has received, whether before or after the date of such order, said order, the whole or of the sum which under any customary or personal law applicable to the parties was payable on such divorce, cancel such order. If that woman has received any amount on the customary or personal law applicable to such woman, then such order may be cancelled. Order. In the case where such sum was paid before such order, from the date on which such order was made, if in such amount has been paid before the order, such from the date on which such order was made. In any other case, from the date of expiry of the period, if any, for which maintenance been actually paid by the husband to the woman. The woman has obtained a divorce from her husband, and that she has voluntarily surrendered her rights to maintenance or interim as the case may be, after a divorce, cancel the order from the date thereof. Suppose there is an order for maintenance, and in the meantime the woman obtained a divorce and voluntarily surrendered her right to maintenance or interim maintenance, etc. Then in such case the magistrate may cancel that order. At the time of making any decree for recovery of any maintenance or dowry by any person to whom a monthly allowance for the maintenance, interim maintenance, or any of them has been ordered to be paid under section 124, the civil court shall take into account the sum which has been paid to or recovered by such person. Civil court passes order for recovery of these dowry articles or even for payment of maintenance. In such case, the civil court shall take into account the sum which has been paid to or recovered by such person as monthly allowance for the maintenance and interim maintenance or any of them, as the case may be, in pursuance of the said order. So now, this is section 127 that provides alteration of maintenance. When the amount will be altered, that has been the maintenance order will be altered, that has been provided in detail in section 127. 128, enforcement of order of maintenance. A copy of the order of maintenance or interim maintenance and expense of proceeding, as the case may be, shall be given without payment to the person in whose favor it is made. Once an order for maintenance has been passed, or the interim maintenance has been passed, or an order for payment of expense of the proceeding has been passed, the copy of such order shall be given to the person who is entitled for such amount free of cost, or to his guardian, if any, or to the person whom the allowance for the maintenance or the allowance for the interim maintenance and expense proceeding, as the case may be, to be paid. And such order may be enforced by magistrate in any place where the person against whom it is made may be. Wherever that person is available, in such place, such maintenance order can be enforced on such magistrate being satisfied as to the only when such magistrate is satisfied as to the identity of the parties and the non-payment of the allowance, or as the case may be, expense due. So even such, suppose a order of maintenance has been passed, in the meantime the husband is there in Bangalore. Such case, if that can be enforced there also. So here, enforcement order. So this copy will be given to the person in whose favor such order has been passed, and such order may be enforced by any magistrate in any place where the person against whom it is made may be. If that person is available somewhere, there also that can be enforced only if such magistrate is satisfied regarding the identity of the parties and that the amount, the maintenance amount has not been paid. So in such case, that can be enforced. In this nutshell, 105, 106, 127 and 128. 125, 126, 127 and 128. That is the chapter IX deal about maintenance. Thank you all.